From Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Saamiyah Syed. Our top story tonight. Former Attorney General Bill Barr called the contents of the indictment against former President Donald Trump very, very damning. Barr, who worked under Trump, broke the Republican narrative and said the government acted responsibly in indicting the former president. In a Fox News Sunday broadcast, he said, "If even half of that is true, then Trump is toast." The indictment includes 38 counts against Trump and his former aide, Walt Nauta. 31 counts are against Trump for withholding national defense information. Barr said calling the indictment a witch hunt is ridiculous. He said in the past, Trump's opponents have obsessively pursued him with false allegations. However, he added that this is a very different matter and he is not the victim here. Nearly 20% of adults in the U.S. believe former President Donald Trump's mandate was stolen in 2020, and the same number considered Joe Biden to be an illegitimate president. That is based on a poll conducted by the University of Chicago Research Center. It also found that 12 million people, or over 4%, believe violence is justified to bring Trump back to power. As well, it found that over 6% of respondents thought it was justified to protect the rights of white Americans. Chicago Project on Security and Threats Director Robert Pape said it's troubling that political violence in the U.S. is moving from the margins to the mainstream. The latest results are based on polls conducted before Trump was indicted. 3 U.S. lawmakers reintroduced a bill in Congress to combat Islamophobia. Democratic Congresspersons Ilhan Omar and Jan Schakowsky and Senator Cory Booker introduced the Combating International Islamophobia bill. It aims to address the staggering rise in such incidents worldwide. The bill requires the State Department to appoint a special envoy to monitor and combat Islamophobia. It also calls for U.S. leadership to develop a comprehensive strategy to combat Islamophobia worldwide. The bill is supported by 21 members of Congress. Booker said Islamophobia rhetoric and attacks continue to threaten the security and well-being of the Muslim community at home and abroad. He said Uyghurs in China, the Rohingya in Burma, and Muslim communities in India and Sri Lanka face Islamophobia. Booker said and Omar first introduced an anti-Islamophobia bill in December 2021. It passed the House by a 219 to 212 vote, but was not voted upon by the Senate. The Senate has confirmed Dilawar Syed as Deputy Commissioner for the Small Business Administration. The appointment on Thursday comes after more than 2 years of delay. He will be the highest-ranking Muslim official in the U.S. government. Republicans opposed it, saying Syed's Muslim faith and work with Muslim organizations implied he might be anti-Israel. Born in Pakistan, Syed is a California-based entrepreneur involved in software, healthcare, and artificial intelligence. President Joe Biden first nominated him in 2021, but Republicans did not vote on his appointment. Biden again nominated him in 2023. Senator Ben Cardin, chairman of the Senate Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee, said the confirmation process was fraught with delay tactics, unfounded accusations, and unrelated controversies. The state of New York has passed legislation to eliminate the negative effects of slavery. On Thursday, its state legislature approved the creation of a commission to address the issue of reparations. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the country in 1865. However, a Pew poll conducted a few years ago found 59% of respondents believe the legacy of slavery still affects the nation's Black communities. New York is the second state after California to adopt such a measure. According to the bill, the commission will consist of 9 members. 3 members each will be appointed by the state governor, the Speaker of the House, and the interim Senate president. The commission will make recommendations for possible remedies and reparations within 1 year. The bill will examine the institutions of slavery and discrimination and eliminate the legacy of generations of poverty. A West Philadelphia woman is on a mission to cook frozen halal meals for busy American Muslim families. Lavon Jones provides halal meat and ensures it's affordable for working families. Her business partner Danielle Tapanto said of all frozen meals available in the market, only 5% are halal. Jones converted to Islam in her 20s, and since then, she's found it difficult to find halal meals for her 2 children. Her kitchen now makes it easy for busy parents to buy such meals. Jones's halal meals are now available in the frozen food section of 10 grocery stores. A story on 3 American Muslims asking an appeals court to not drop their lawsuit against the FBI comes with details after the break. So stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. 3 American Muslims under FBI surveillance a decade ago have asked an appeals court not to dismiss their lawsuit against the agency. The case relates to religious discrimination. It was argued Thursday in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The FBI asked for the case to be dismissed, arguing it has secret evidence that cannot be made public. The plaintiffs said they did not need secret evidence and that the case should proceed without that information. Mohammed Tajsar, senior counsel at the American Civil Liberties Union, said the government has repeatedly used state secrets as a defense to end cases since September 11, 2001. Peter Bibbering, attorney for the Muslim men, argued the case should now be dismissed because of the state secrets privilege. The plaintiffs allege the social fabric of the city of Irvine, California, was torn apart after an FBI informant began trapping young Muslim men. He urged young men to join and plan acts of violence on U.S. soil. The plaintiffs argued this was a case of religious discrimination in violation of the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The case was dismissed at the district level in 2012. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in 2019 that the case could proceed under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. The law governs how surveillance-related evidence can be used in court. Mexico will continue legal action against U.S. weapons manufacturers. Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard said Friday the nation will appeal a decision by the U.S. court dismissing the lawsuit last year. Mexico filed a lawsuit in August 2021 blaming U.S. gun makers for increasing violence in his country. The lawsuit claims drug cartels and criminal organizations are using U.S. weapons to terrorize the Mexican population. Ebrard said the government will argue the case at the Moakley Federal Courthouse in the state of Massachusetts. The hearing will be held on July 24th. Gun manufacturers sued by Mexico include Smith & Wesson, Beretta, Glock & Sturm, Ruger & Co., and Whitmer. A UN report is accusing authorities of silencing civil society and dissenting voices related to Palestine by using punitive measures. The report released Thursday by the UN Human Rights Council shows human rights defenders were targeted in Israeli and Palestinian territories. It examines attacks and restrictions on civil society by 3 authorities: the Israeli government, the Palestinian Authority, and the Hamas in Gaza. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Navi Pillay said authorities restrict the right to freedom of expression and peaceful association. She said the situation of Palestinian human rights defenders is worrying, noting that they are routinely subjected to punitive measures by Israel's occupation regime. The Commission noted Israeli authorities silence civil society voices that challenge the government's policies and narrative. This includes criminalizing Palestinian organizations and their members by labeling them terrorists. Institutions that provide a platform for civil society discourse are also pressured and threatened, and donors are excluded or threatened to cut off funding to civil society groups. The report says spy software has been installed on the cell phones of human rights defenders. Israeli and Palestinian journalists were also monitored and harassed. The report was written by the Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian Territory. Nearly 160 million children are engaged in child labor worldwide. According to the International Labor Organization and UNICEF, 63 million girls and 97 million boys work to support their families. On the eve of World Day Against Child Labor on Monday, the groups highlighted that sub-Saharan Africa has the highest rate of child labor at 26%. Africa tops the list with 1 in 5 children, or 92 million, working as child laborers. Asia and the Pacific region ranks second, with 49 million children engaged in child labor. There are also 8.3 million child laborers in the Americas, 8.3 million in Europe and Central Asia, and 2.4 million in Arab countries. The number of children working in hazardous occupations has risen to 79 million. Most child labor is in the agricultural sector, where 70% of all children work. Data show the proportion of boys among working children is higher than that of girls in all regions and age groups. 2 Jakarta-based architects have rebuilt a mosque in Indonesia that could be counted among modern architectural masterpieces. Dave Orlando and Fandi Gunawan designed the Nurul Yaqin Mosque in Palu to create a floating illusion. Palu is the capital and largest city in central Sulawesi province. Using concrete, brick, and blue terrazzo, they were able to create a simple and elegant worship space. The blue terrazzo is used for the flooring and ornamental vaults, and silts in the prayer hall lets in natural light and air. The 99 names of God are lasered into the stainless steel adorning the top of the building. 30 columns with ornamental arches support the building, blending harmoniously with the serene surroundings. The architects have integrated the mosque into the water, creating a floating illusion. The mosque is windowless and glassless, allowing for natural ventilation and minimal maintenance. Before we end today's segment, I would like to extend a special request. It takes more than 55 hours of work per day to produce this news segment for you. It brings news with a unique perspective, and you can find it only on here, on Muslim Network TV. Sound Vision is a not-for-profit organization which produces it. And just like PBS and NPR, we depend on your donations. Please visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, or click the link below to donate. And that's all from our Toronto studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Assalamu alaikum and good night.